I don't know about you, and this is not a Taylor Swift reference, don't worry, but I'm feeling like I'm having trouble sleeping, like every single night, because we are so close to kickoff. I'm recording this late Monday night, which means we are a few days away from Eagles-Cowboys, and then one more day away from Chiefs-Chargers. Go Chargers, sneaky go Chargers. And then we are 6 days away from Raiders football. I need to know down below how excited we are, Bars. That's Bars. I'm thrilled. Obviously a little bit nervous. This is the one game that I've continually flip-flopped and went back and forth on. And I eventually came to the consensus that I do think this is going to be a loss. However, I could maybe convince myself by the end of this video to give us more of a chance than initially presented. Now, I do think we have a chance in this game, and Vegas is telling you they've got no idea how this game's going to go because we're 2.5-point underdogs away, which means on a neutral site, we would be a 0.5-point favorite. I've got a bunch of different keys here, and I think I'm going to do this weekly. I've got kind of the pillars of what I think is going into how we win or lose these games, and then we got an article that Vinny wrote that talks about what we have to do in order to guarantee or have a chance of having a winning season. Again, super duper excited. I need you guys to tell me if you like this format for the previews of every single week for these games. I'm going to get right into the notes here that I have, and I want to talk about this matchup in particular because I do think it's one that's the most intriguing on our entire schedule because it's kind of the exact same thing that we feel about our team, Patriots fans feel about their team. Trust me, I know. My best friend is a Patriots fan. I live with them. I talk to him about this stuff daily. Now, of course, he thinks the Patriots are a lock to win that game. I'm a little bit skeptical because we've been hurt too many times before, and week ones are weird. But if you look at the makeup of these teams, the Patriots and the Raiders are both coming off of 4-13 seasons where head coaches that were former players took over the job. Maybe they shouldn't have. They were in above their head, defensive guys, and they were both fired for massive upgrades. Of course, Mike Vrabel is a massive upgrade over Gerard Mayo. Pete Carroll is a massive upgrade over Antonio Pierce. I almost forgot his name, and I'm never going to say his name again after I saw him in that Chiefs jersey or whatever he was wearing. No longer talking about that person. Quarterbacks. We obviously got a massive upgrade from last year with Gardner and Aiden and Desmond to Geno Smith. In theory, you would think the Patriots are getting some sort of upgrade year one Drake May versus year two Drake May. And I want to talk about specifically the quarterbacks and the coaching and where these teams line up. And please, you have no problem telling me if you think I'm right or wrong. Continue to do so in the comments. So while you're down there, hit that like button. Coaching. Now, you have to talk about who's calling the plays, the schematics, the motivation, the personnel that's being put on the field. Vrabel versus Pete Carroll. Patrick Graham versus the defensive coordinator of the Patriots, which in lockstep is basically Mike Vrabel. And then their offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, versus Chip Kelly. I do think the coaching advantage lies very so closely with us. I do think when it's all said and done, Pete Carroll is going to go down as a better head coach than Mike Vrabel, although I do think Mike Vrabel is very good. Chip Kelly and Josh McDaniels, the slight edge maybe goes to McDaniels as much as that pains me to say, but Chip Kelly is the highest paid offensive coordinator for a reason, not the head coach right now. We don't have to worry about him managing the games, but as a play caller, I do think he's almost as good as Josh McDaniels. And then defensively, I do think they have the clear advantage, not only defensively schematically, but defensively on the field. Quarterback-wise, I think we have the clear advantage. Now, that doesn't mean I think that Drake May will never be better than Geno Smith or that Drake May won't be better than Geno Smith by year's end. But typically with young quarterbacks, even if they're going into their first or second year, the end of the season looks significantly better than the beginning of the season. And getting a quarterback early where you have no film on us defensively is massive and is a big advantage for the Raiders. Weapons-wise, it's not even close. We are far superior. They've got Stephon Diggs, who's probably like 80%. They've got two decent running backs in Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. And they've got Efton Chisholm. I'm sure a lot of you don't even know who that is. I live with the Patriots fan. I've heard the name Efton Chisholm a million times. Their offensive line isn't great either, although it's better than it was last year, and Drake May is Drake May. We've got, again, if Jacoby Myers is on the field, a lock top 10 offense, I'm promising you. This is going to be a career year for Geno Smith, and we're going to score a lot of points by proxy of the weapons that we have: Jacoby, Brock, Dante, Trey, Amari, Ashton, Raheem, Michael. And also because the defense is going to maybe be giving up a lot of points. That's going to force us in an area where we're going to have to put up more than maybe we think we need to initially. Defensively, they clearly have the advantage. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They've got Robert Spillane over there. They've got Milt Williams over there. They've got Harold Landry over there. They've got players. No doubt about it. We've got a few players. Obviously, Max, Jeremy Chin. That's basically it for the people that are like, no doubt about it, going to perform at a very, very high level. A lot of question marks. How does Tyree and Malcolm and Jamal Adams stack up against the Mike Vrabel Patriots defense? I think that is the clear disadvantage. And this game is going to come down to momentum and the element of surprise. Now, I do think the Patriots, to start the game, are going to have the clear momentum advantage. They are going to have the crowd on their side. Robert Kraft is going to be there. I'm sure Gronkowski's going to be there. They're going to bring out the works, and they're going to usher in this new era of Vrabel-led Patriots football. We need to find a way to snatch that momentum as quick as humanly possible. And what's weird about the Raiders, doesn't matter what regime they have, and I know Raiders fans are going to know exactly what I'm about to say, and they're going to agree with it. Raiders teams, offensively, always start out these games humming. They always go like right down the field. Didn't matter if it was Gruden, McDaniels, AP, didn't matter. Right down the field. And it's like 7-0 Raiders. And you're like, whoa. And then the wheels fall off. What we need to do is stack good plays. And what I appreciate about Pete Carroll's coaching philosophy so far is that he tells people, and he said this about guys trying to make the team, do not go out there and be a hero. And this would be one of my coaching philosophies. So I was coaching basketball, which I do from time to time. This is what I would tell people. You need to let the moments that you can be the hero come to you. That's how legends are born, by doing their job at the most critical moments in the most pressure-packed situations. Geno Smith, you do not have to be Tom Brady or Lamar Jackson. Run the offense, throw the ball deep, play action passing. That's what you're good at. Max Crosby, you do not have to be Lawrence Taylor on every single play. If you need a break, come out for a play. So then on the third down, we have you on the game, or in the game, on the field when you're 110%. Do your job. Dante Thornton, take the top off the defense, catch the football. You don't have to be Randy Moss right now, okay? Brock Bowers, you can be Brock Bowers. That's good enough for everybody. Do your job. The plays will be made. And the element of surprise is key here. We know Josh McDaniels is a funky play caller, and he's got reverses and trick plays, and I'm sure it's going to be week one, and Vrabel's going to say, unleash the dogs, right? Go all out. We want to win every game, and we need to start out right. Chip Kelly is going to have a lot of aces up his sleeve, a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of bootlegs with Geno, a lot of creative multi-level play calling with Dante and Trey and Amari now and Jacoby. Which team is going to be more in a position to combat the element of surprise and combat the momentum? And that ultimately comes down to the turnover battle. If this is an equal turnover game, I think we win, because that means we didn't force any turnovers. That might be expected by how not great our defense is going to be. But that means their great defense, or their good defense, above average defense, better than us defense, didn't force any either, which means it's just a matter of who has the better offense. We've clearly got the better offense. They've clearly got the better defense. I would take our special teams. So why do I think this is going to be a loss? I just feel as though typically the Raiders in week ones that are away, last year against the Chargers, right? The last time we won an away game week one might have been the Carolina Panthers, the COVID year, and that was barely a win for us. We typically come out a little flat, and I think that's because typically, we've got a lot of guys that have a chip on their shoulder, the Max Crosbys, the Geno Smiths, the blah, blah, blahs, right? Last year was Gardner Minshew and Zamir White, and they want to prove so badly that everybody is wrong, and they get out of their assignments, and they do things they're not good at. And I think Pete Carroll can be that coach to implement the right style of play for this team, and this could easily be a win. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost by 10. I wouldn't be surprised if we won by 17. It's just a hard game to figure out because there's a lot of unknowns on that field. But what you all have to understand, and what I've been preaching this whole time, is that you have to be able to acknowledge that the team that you see on week 1 is vastly different from the team that you're going to see in week 14 when we're at the peak of our powers. So for right now, I do have this as just like a funky week 1, a fumble doesn't go our way loss. Maybe I'm just trying to cope with the idea that we could lose more games than I think. I don't think that is the case. I still think we're going to go 9-8 to 10-7. I think this is one of those losses. You're not going to win every game you're supposed to. You're not going to lose every game that you're supposed to. And this is just feels this is a vibe game. I go down the list here. We have a better offense. They have a better defense. Momentum is weird. It's 10 a.m. body clock. This is a vibe game. Coaching is pretty even. Vibes say we're going to lose. I could be wrong. Before we get into the article here, I do need to tell you about a new promo we have with our channel sponsor, DraftKings. With the NFL season right around the corner, there's no time like the present to get involved in the betting scene, and now you can with our new channel partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet $5 and get $300 instantly in bonus bets, as well as $200 off the NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube and YouTube TV. All you have to do is download the DraftKings app and sign up using the promo code ALLaBorde. Whether it's the thrill of betting on games live as they happen or building the perfect parlay for an even bigger payout, DraftKings has you covered. And do not worry, if sports betting isn't yet legal in your state, you can still get in on all the action with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. From football to basketball to hockey to lacrosse to golf, the variety of bets you can make on DraftKings cannot be beat. From popular stats to game lines, touchdown scores, game props, team props, and much, much more. The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. Download the DraftKings app, sign up, and use the promo code ALLABORDE. Okay, shout out to DraftKings. Use the promo code. It does help out tremendously. Also, I do want to say shout out to my $5 and $10 patrons and YouTube members. We are in the last few days here for you guys to be able to enter in the contest to win $100. And all you have to do is click the join button under these videos and join my YouTube membership program. You get all these great benefits, which you can read down below. The link is in the description for my Discord as well. And hit that subscribe button. It is free. Let's read a little Vinny B here. Raiders will have a winning season if these three things happen. And I think this is important to talk about because this is kind of a microcosm not only of the game that we're about to play, but of the season as a whole. So, this is August 31st. This was yesterday as the time I was recording this. As Pete Carroll begins his first year in charge of the Raiders, he is not interested in any prolonged rebuild or revamp period to get the franchise turned around. He wants to win right now. I've been winning 10 games a year for 20 years or something, Carroll said. I mean, what are my expectations? We're going to win a bunch, and I don't care who hears that. How feasible is that for a team coming off a 4-win season? It helps that a new quarterback is in place and a dynamic rookie running back is in the fold to bolster an offense that already features one of the best tight ends in the game. Certainly, new offensive coordinator Chip Kelly will be an upgrade in that role as well. But for the Raiders to win more games than they lose and potentially make a legitimate playoff run, these three things must happen. Finishing on the right side of the turnover differential. If we do that more often than not, we're just going to win these games because, again, our defense is not going to go crazy in the turnover department. So we need to make sure as an offense we're putting our defense in the best positions to succeed, and I think that makes sense. Okay, finishing on the right side of the turnover differential. The Raiders were minus 16 in turnover differential last season, giving the ball away 29 times and taking it away just 13. That's horrific. Tied for second worst in the NFL and was just one off the pace for the worst mark overall. They are doomed this season if they don't improve in that area and will severely hamper themselves if they don't do so by a significant margin. To put it in perspective, 12 of the 14 teams that made the playoffs last season finished top 13 in the category, and 13 of the 14 playoff participants finished on the plus side of the turnover differential, including 7 by double digits. Only the Bucs are minus 5 in turnover differential. Wow, that's interesting. Improvement in the red zone. And I do think having a mobile quarterback and Geno Smith, or sorry, not a mobile quarterback and Geno Smith, a mobile quarterback and Ashton Genty is going to help this tremendously. The Raiders did a lot of work in the red zone during the offseason practice and training camp. It makes total sense considering how bad they were in that area last season. Offensively, the Raiders ranked 26th in red zone touchdown percentage last year, converting just 48.89% of their trips to the opponent's 20-yard or closer into touchdowns. Defensively, they ranked 22nd in the NFL by giving up a touchdown 60% of the time. That's terrible. Neither number is sustainable for a winning team, let alone a legit playoff contender. The addition of Smith, Genty, and Dante Thorne and Amari Cooper, combined with expected to be better offensive line, could help improve the team's likelihood of converting more red zone trips into touchdowns. No doubt about it. Smith completed 53.7% of his 54 red zone passes attempts last year, which is superior to playoff quarterbacks Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, and Josh Allen. But Smith's 4 red zone interceptions led the NFL. Smith has to be better than that to give the Raiders a legitimate chance to win more games than they lose. Yeah, we cannot be. If we turn the ball over in the red zone, we'll lose. I'll make a prediction. If we turn the ball over in the red zone on Sunday, we'll lose. Like, we can't do that. We cannot afford to leave points off the board if the defense is not going to be as good as we think it is. If it's improved, if Darian Porter takes a step and Jamal Adams is awesome and Jermaine Pratt's sick, then we can make a mistake every now and again. But if we want to be like truly great or make the playoffs, yeah, we can't be turning the ball over, especially in the red zone. Defensive sacks, quarterback pressures must improve. The Raiders' 38 sacks ranked 21st in the NFL, with only the Rams and Detroit Lions making the playoffs with many or fewer sacks. The Raiders ranked 15th in quarterback pressures. Not terrible. It's no wonder their 10 interceptions ranked 23rd in the NFL, or that the 3,670-yard passing they surrendered is 18th. Again, it's not great, but it's not terrible. They were tied for 5th most touchdown passes, given up 29. That's not great, yeah. The return of Malcolm Kuntz, who missed all of last year with an injury, should help, as well with the improvement of 30 defenseman Tyree Wilson, who delivered his best training camp by far since being drafted 7th overall by the Raiders in 2023. The Raiders will also use the linebackers Devin White and Jamal Adams to supplement the pass rush. Both were heavily improved in the area during training camp. Yeah, I mean, turnover battle is obviously huge. Getting pressure on the quarterback is obviously huge. And I do think we're going to be much improved in most categories. It just comes down to, can the young guys produce at a high level, and can Geno protect the football? Because I believe in this offensive line for the most part. I believe in Brock. I believe in our offensive weapons. I believe in Max. And I do believe in Patrick Graham's ability to learn from Pete Carroll and put a serviceable defense out there. But again, we're talking about exceeding expectation. If everything is about where we think it's going to go, it's 6 to 9 wins. If we want to exceed expectation, win the playoffs, win games like this where we're not favored, 10 a.m. body clock, where most people are picking the Patriots, more people are picking the Patriots to make the playoffs than the Raiders, which I think is ridiculous. I think it should be about 50-50. I can understand having neither of us in the playoffs, but having one and not the other is like, okay, the Patriots, sure. But all that being said, let me know in the comments your thoughts on all this. I mentioned before a bunch of different things, but I didn't mention we have a phone number, 725-253-0264. Call in, leave a voicemail whenever you want. I might get to it on the show. If you're a $5 patron or if you're a channel YouTube member, you could also call in as well. Shout out to my $5 and $10 patrons again and my YouTube members. Join that Patreon. Link in the description below. Join that Discord. Please be sure to subscribe. It's free after all, no charge to you. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.